5 pounds thing, so I actually felt really thin today. I was like, you don't need to say it, I feel good. I don't want to worry about it. Yeah, very funny. Okay, so I have a chart. Check it out. I'm just trying to make it so everybody can see my fun little chart here without crowding myself in the corner here too much. So what I want to talk about today are the 4 types of promises that I developed whilst doing the exercise of writing something about promises. So we're going to just go through that and discuss it on my little chart. Okay? So we're just going to jump in, right? Okay. So the first one is kept spoken promises. Okay? Right. So we know what that is. And then we have unkept spoken promises. And then we know what that is, right? And then we have kept unspoken promises. What is that? And then we have unkept unspoken promises, which is like the worst thing. That's the worst one, right? Okay, so these are what we have. Now, so these 2 are positive, right? Positive, happy, yay, they're kept. These 2 are boo, negative, not kept, okay? So there's a positive and negativeness to every single promise, okay? But then I discovered that there's actually like a vibrational, magical energy around a promise, right? So we're just going to call that the magicness level of a promise, okay? And we're going to put that over here. ML. My handwriting is awesomely bad, okay? I admit. So let's just go ahead and start with spoken promises. Don't worry about this down the bottom right now yet. So spoken promises, you know what that is, right? It's like when you say something and then it happens. Like you say you're going to do this and then it happens. So I could say, I am going to meet you for coffee at 9 a.m. I promise I'll be there at 9 a.m. And then I'm there at 9 a.m. And yay, I did it, right? Now that has like a magic level of like what? Like a 2, right? So we'll say ML equals 2, okay? So I'm also kind of writing backwards. This is very awkward, right? So that has, but if I say to you, I'm going to meet you at 9 a.m. and I'm going to bring the $10 million ransom that you need to get your mother back from the people that kidnapped her, and I keep that promise and I'm there with that money, that has a magic level of like 10 million, right? That's like, oh my God, 10 million, yay, right? But if I don't keep it, that promise, so there's actually, you can have a positive magic level or you can have a negative magic level. So if I didn't keep that, that would be like way down here like, fuck you, okay? You didn't keep that promise, okay? So now those are examples of earthly promises. Now there's this other thing called an unearthly promise that I discovered in this inquisition, right? In this inquiry. And that's like, in certain circles, you go to the kingdom of heaven, right? After you die. This is what happens. Now that, for a lot of people, is a kept spoken promise, right? And so that's great. When that happens and they get to the kingdom of heaven, they're like, hot damn, that's like, woo! That's like off the charts, right? Magic level, okay? But then, let's say that it is in, they get there and it's not there. And so that's an unkept spoken promise. And the guy's like, what the fuck, dude? She didn't bring the ransom money from my mother and they killed her, and I thought I would see her in the kingdom of heaven, but it's not here. And now I'm just this bit of energy floating around or something, and this really sucks. So that has like a really low, right, for those people, magic level, okay? But then for people who never didn't believe in the kingdom of heaven, right, but then let's say that we die, and then there is the kingdom of heaven, then it goes from unkept to a kept spoken promise. And we're like, holy shit, we were assholes! Because they were keeping their promise, and we didn't think that it was a promise. Okay? So that's like spoken promises. Okay? So now we're going to move down here to unspoken promises. So you might be thinking, the first thing is like, well, how do you know if it's a promise, right? Because no one said it, no one signed an agreement. How do you know if it's even in existence, right? So I'll give you an example. So we're all probably entrepreneurs in this room, I would imagine. So, right, that's one. I don't even think about that. Like software, right? So we all have to use software to get stuff done, right? And there's this unspoken promise that the software is going to work all the time. Okay? That's just like, you buy it, it's just great, my life is gonna work, right? And then, but it doesn't say that in the manual. There's no thing that says, oh, this works all the time. But when it does, when that unspoken promise is kept, it's like, oh, God damn, this is great. Life is beautiful. I feel like I can get things done. I feel like I know myself as a strong human being, right? But when it's unkept, it's like the opposite. It's like, bah! Right? It's like things are scary and terrifying and there's something truly wrong with the world, right? So that is an example of an earthly unspoken promise, okay? So then we bump up over into the unearthly unspoken promise. And I'm going to assume, like most of you, when I was born unto this plane, I had the unspoken promise, an agreement with I don't even know who, and I don't even know what, that I was going to get everything I wanted. And that I was going to know myself as a fully realized woman and human being, and I was going to reach my full, highest potential, and when I got there, I was going to know it and acknowledge it. Right? Okay? So, right now, that's unkept. You know what I'm talking about. It's like, right? But none of us are dead yet, okay? So it could go from here to here at any time, right? We don't know what's going to happen, right? So then there's this other variable that I have to put onto here, and this is my person, okay? This is the person or the entity with whom you made a promise with, or who made the promise to you, right? So if I say to somebody, if I say, all right, look, I put a bunch of shit on a chart about promises, and then I went and told a bunch of people about it, as if I know any goddamn thing about promises. But the fact is, I, like Nikki, think that promises are kind of like lies, actually, and people only use them to get out of stuff or just get something that they need in the moment. You know, but that I know that if I want to be a fully realized woman and human being, which I do want to be, I need to make really big promises, and then I need to keep them, but I'm so freaked out because I really think there's something wrong with me, that I don't believe in myself enough, I don't believe in a man enough to fall in love with him and marry him, and I don't believe in the human race enough to make big promises or have people make big promises to me. Okay, so I could say this to somebody, right? And they could say, Andrea, I promise that it's all going to work out for you. I promise. And the person who said it is Lance Armstrong. Right? And I'm just going to be like, Lance, look, I don't even care that you lied, because promises lies, it's all baloney, but you hold no water for me, right? But then let's say that I say my spiel to someone, and the person I said it to is the Dalai Lama. And the Dalai Lama says, Andrea, I promise you that you are going to know yourself at your highest potential. And you are going to be so proud and privileged and honored to be the person you are and the person you have been. I promise that for you in this lifetime. Then I'm going to be like, holy shit! I just got the truth. That magicness level is so high that it actually transformed into the truth, right? For me, in that moment. So it's like the promise is like the cup that's holding the truth. So then I realized there's one more variable that goes on this chart. Okay? And that is me. Or you. Let's pretend this is your chart, right? Because I know that I have made Dalai Lama promises to people. And they've gotten it like it was the truth, right? Like I've said to people in circumstances where I've said, I promise that you're going to get through this. And I believed it. It was like I really honestly believed it, and they believed it. I saw the shift, right? You see that they got the truth, you know? So then I was thinking about this awesome chart here that I think is really clear. And just thinking about, you know, when I make promises in the future, whether they be spoken or unspoken or earthly or unearthly or magic positive or magic negative, whatever that is, I feel like what I'm seeing is the more important thing is to be aware of is, am I making Dalai Lama promises to the people in my life, or am I making Lance Armstrong promises? Thank you.